Okay guys, hi, this is Vaz again, part 2 tutorial of jumping lamp. Let's get back into it. Okay, just for simplification purposes I made a ref image, which I'm gonna just, in Windows you just drag and drop it onto the background, and you have it there, you go Shift V, and you go back, and here if you are on a Macintosh, I think you can select it from here if it doesn't drag and drop. And then let's just shift it around so it's in the right position. And scale it up. I'm just clicking and dragging on these arrows just so we get the approximate size correct, so working with the same thing. Okay, yeah, look, I matched it up pretty good. Okay, let's just fix it up here. Let's go character, joint tool, yep, and this little one here. Okay, wonderful. Now, once again, Shift V, scroll up, go ahead and just delete that, press enter, and go back to normal. Okay, now, let's go get out, we're going to call this a grip object, it's going to be our grip. I don't have a better name for it, so I'm just calling it grip object, name it wherever you want. We are going to Control-C, Control-V it. Now we're gonna go lower grip. It's gonna be down here for our. But rotation wise, when you rotate something, if you click on the outside, it will only rotate the object around the axis going through the perpendicular to the plane. So it's easy. So if you click inside, of course, it will rotate in any direction. Control Z. Okay, so we rotate it. We place it at the center there. That's where around what point zone we're shooting. Change the rotation here to like 90. There we go. Perfect alignment. Now we go Control C, Control V, and we put it up here. We rotate it. We can even scale it out a bit. It's a bit bigger. Where'd it go? Control Z. Strange. Anywho, it's gonna be called the mid grip. Okay, good. Now we're going to need a little cylinder here at the base. This is going to be the pivot. Going to put it around and stick it in here. Just check it size-wise. Okay, the pivot, we have the pivot. Now we will add a sphere for the base. We will relocate the sphere. Oh, sorry, just for some reason appeared. And we will. Now this pivot doesn't look very centered. Let's make the pivot more centered. Okay, sphere, quite simple, make it editable, squash it down, so it's about so high. Go to point mode, select all the points here, select these points, move them up. Okay, now when we put this thing in a hypernode, go back to this. We're gonna go to the K tool. We're gonna go to the loop. We're gonna use loop here, loop, and we're gonna make it slightly sharper. Maybe even add another cut there, so it looks like a base. Awesome. Also, you're probably gonna want to close it. So go. Oops, go point mode, close, polygon hole. Ta-da! Done. See, beautiful. Cool. Okay. Now, what are we going to do next? We're going to make legs. So now that we've got the positions, we don't really need these, where are they? These bones. Now, this lamp head, low grip, mid grip. Cylinder will be inside the low grip. Also, inside these objects, when you have a bunch of objects, it's a good idea. Actually, I'll explain this later when we're in the rigging phase. Now, Alt-G, make sure all the top objects are null objects, don't keep them as hypernodes or whatever, just call it base. Okay, now we need to draw the legs. Let's do this quite quickly. We move it around. Okay, so we get the cube, we rotate it, we scale it, make it small, zoom in here. we're going to basically make it the width of the column. So there, and then we'll have another one sticking out the side. I think that's about right. Okay. Got to make sure it's aiming in the right place. So it's a bit. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, now press the C key, go to point mode, select top 2 points, press the E key, move them, go back to the model tool, Q, well, I use Q, but just press this button here, rotate with the R key. Okay, now just go Control C, Control V, move it across to here, the points, stand them a bit. And we're good to go. It should be a bit smaller. Close enough. Actually, now I'm going to make them smaller. So you get the cube, you disable Y scale, press the T key. No, wait, you hit the T key first, then you disable Y scale, and then you scale them. There you go. Now delete this one. Control C, Control V, move it in. Yep, turn Y on again by hitting the Y key. Or see up here, Y on, off. Okay, that looks a bit nicer. Well, now I feel it too thin. Now I reckon it's close enough. Okay, good. Now we get these two. Just get one for now. Control C, Control V, move it up here. Rotate it around. Extend its length. T. Here, now the other way, we enable Y, disable X and Z, and just scale up. Okay, now go back to the turn on X and Z by hitting them on the keyboard. Control C, Control V, move it up. Okay, wait, now so delete that one, let's rotate this one a bit, just a bit up. Okay, Control C, Control V, move it up. And we finish modeling the lamp. Okay. Now just group these two. Upper leg, oops, G, lower leg. Oh yes, and of course I forgot to put the light bulb in. Let's go. Also, see, I don't like it. Firstly, I just want to do some little adjustments on the head, just a couple of loop cuts. Okay, faces, Alt A to get rid of that. K tool. Okay, now firstly I want to add a sharper edge here, and this interior, it's just, oops, sorry about that, it's just not sharp enough for my liking. I mean, it's just meant to be son of a hypernode, so you can see where, see, that's the problem. Okay, okay, go to edge mode, V menu, selection, loop selection, select these edges, and now we have to move them down a bit, because see, when I scaled it I forgot to turn off the Y scaling, and because of that it all stuffed up a little bit. Okay, there you go, I think that's better. Okay, now let's see what happens with hypernubs. There you go. Oh, still I reckon we can make it a bit, we can add, go to the loop mode, here don't forget to turn off restrict to selection, could be a problem. And let's add cut there and a cut there. That's nice and solid, I think. Yep. Okay. Good. No. It just made that platform look a bit small. The base there. That's the base. Let's get a bit bigger, but disable Y scaling and just scale an X. Just a tiny bit. It's better. Okay. Good. Now we have the lamp. Let's arrange it in heights, in order. So here we have, at the top we will have the base, then we will have the lower we'll have the lower grip, the lower leg, the mid grip, the upper leg, and the lamp head. Okay, good. Now let's get to rigging. Let's make a layer for all these, and so we'll be able to hide it. You go to plugins, Windows, layer browser, and you just double click and you add these, and while holding the control key you drag them in, and then them and everything below them is all layered to blue layer, and we call this mesh. I can either close or just move it off screen. Well, I'll move it off screen. I usually have it docked somewhere, but since I'm recording, small screen space. Okay, now let's start the rig. First thing we do is we make null objects. Yeah, null objects. It's a very important thing. When you're building rigs, you're going to be using all null objects. So why not tie them to a shortcut? I have them tied to tilde1. See, I hit tilde, then I hit 1, and I get a null object, and they just appear. You can do this once again by pressing Shift F12 to go to Command Manager. You go type in here null object, and put the shortcut in what you want. So when you see a null object here, it will be because I'm hitting a shortcut. Okay, this is going to be the base. Let's make controllers in capital letters so we know what they are. Okay, now the base is going to be in the same place as this base. So let's line it up. Make sure it's on the right place. And it's going to, let's get this whole, hierarchy. And let's move it up. Oops. Let's go so it's just touch the floor. Okay, good. Now, base on the floor, in the middle. Okay, good. Hopefully the line there because we are modeling in the center, so no issues there. Now, we will change it to circle. Circle. Change the direction to XZ. Bigger. There you go. We have a circle. I also like to change the color to something bright green. So we go always and we go green. Why? Because green's a shiny color. Okay. Now let's build the bones, the joints. So now they're called joints. Character, joint tool. Now, so holding the control key, we place it on the pivot point, so wherever it will be pivoting around. Then we place it on the pivot point here, which is actually around here somewhere, and then here. And we have joints located. Now, for some reason they're in here. Let's take them out of that and call this joints. And call this base joint underscore joint. Oops, sorry, forgot to type over there. Underscore joint. Now call this mid joint and call this head underscore joint. Underscore there, sorry. Okay, good. Now we are going to add a head null object. Once again, make a null, make it into object, make it into a cube. Cube, there it is at the bottom. Change it to any camera angle, doesn't matter, it is always a cube. You also scale it up. Radius. Oops, sorry, 8. I think that's approximately correct. Okay, rotate, make, obviously we can add a color to it. Let's make it, for the point, let's make it blue. Always blue. Don't know why, just so it's rotated, so aligned with the head. Make it easier later. Not to be too accurate, just yep. Okay, line with the head, and good. Okay, that's our head joint. Now we're also going to need another one inside it, so we just Control-C, Control-V it. Got this the rotator. This is head locator. The rotator will be inside. It will be, let's change the color of it to like yellow, and we will change its shape to a sphere. There it is, it's a sphere, so now we can select either the movement, the position of it, or we can change the rotation of it. Clicking that one, see? Okay, this is just so we know what we're doing when we're rigging, because as soon as we start building the rig, we're going to get rid of the mesh because it gets in the way. Okay, now let's hide the mesh for a second. That's sufficient to understand what we want to rig, how we want it to move. Okay, good. So let's get the mesh all together, we don't need it anymore. This one hides it from the manager, this one hides it from view, and lock it just in case. Don't forget to unlock it later, obviously. Okay, so how do we get this to work? Well, firstly we need to make an IK chain. So we select this top chain and the bottom one, and we go character and IK chain. Now we have head joint goal. We press E, we can move it around, and the legs work. Okay, now this head joint goal will be inside the head locator. Because we move the head locator, and by the way, once I move, I press Ctrl Z to return to the initial position so that it doesn't go off the the central axis here. So it sticks to being in the middle for now. Okay, so we got that set. Now we also want this bottom thing to move, so when we move this, we want it to be able to jump basically. So what we do is we get this joint here. Should we get, let's see if we see, we move it, okay, good. So this is the base joints, and we are going to tie it to the base here. So we're going to go character tags, constraint, and we will select parent constraint once we go parent, and we go parent, and we go add, and we go position, and yes, rotation as well. We will then trap the base in there. Now when we move the base, that moves as well, and when we move the head, it moves. Wonderful. What else could you possibly want, right? Now, and this rotator is inside for rotating the actual, the lamp head. Okay. I think that's all we're going to set up. We can jump, we can move. Okay. Now let's make a new layer. Now layer browser. First we'll change this color to like more intense colors, like blue, and then this one to yellow, and call it rig. Now select everything we have here, go control and throw to rig. Good. Now base. Okay, now let's display this and unlock it and show it in the menu. Now, the lamp head locator will be under base. Now the lamp head will be parent to the rotator. So we go character tag, constraint, and we go parent, add, position, rotation. Actually not just rotation, wait, yes, both rotation. Just making sure it's going to build the structure in my head. Okay, so now when we move the head locator, okay, the lamp moves with it, and when we rotate it, the lamp rotates. Okay, seems about right. Cool. Okay. By the way, the reason we have a separate one is because we can put keyframes on the head locator for movement and on the rotator for rotation. It just makes it easy when we're animating. Okay, now we have the base, which we are going to parent to the base, obviously. So let's go make character constraint, go parent, add, add, position, rotation, and we select base. Now we select the base and test it, just make sure it works. Okay, when we rotate it, okay, it rotates, good. Okay, now the mid grip, the lower grip has to also be parented to the same place, so we just drag and drop. It should work. Now change the base. Okay, good. Now we have the lower leg, which will be parented to the lower bone. So we go joints. So we go character, constraint. By the way, to make it life easier, just go constraint. Wait, sorry. So it's going to be parenting all of these. We go parent, and we go control drag. Now we just click on so the lower leg, add, position, rotation, and this will be on base joint. Now let's move the head locator, see what happens. Yep, see, the leg moves with it. Okay, let's get the mid grip. We will attach, add position, rotation for the, once again, we'll attach it to the mid joint. Now the upper leg, add, position, rotation, and we'll add it to the mid joint as well. And now let's see what happens. Just quickly, head locator. Yep, and it all moves together. How great is that? We get the base and we move it up and down. Moves as well. Okay, so, and once again, just check if we click on the rotator. It works as well. By the way, we can press Shift V, HUD, and here we want to pick root object and active object. I should turn off root. Now we know what we selected. So when we select this, it will say head locator. When we select this, select rotator. Actually, let's go and add the root object as well while we're at it. There you go. Now we know that we selected the rotator under the head locator. Or we selected head locator. See? Useful. Okay. Good. I'll see you in the next tutorial.